Greetings to each and every one of you. Welcome to Wealth Makers Alliance. Firstly, I would like to say thank you so much to each and every one of you who subscribe to Wealth Makers Alliance. If you have not done so, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget to click the like and give comments. Okay, I would like to hear from you. What are the contents that you are looking forward, or some of the interests, okay, that you would like to find out? Do send it over. Write it down in the contents, okay, in the comments, so that I can basically look into it, okay, and provide some of these wonderful contents. I know that if you've been subscribing, you have been receiving, all right, wealth of information and knowledge through this through Wealth Makers Alliance. You can find now all kinds of information pertaining to the cryptocurrencies and so on. And there are more, okay, there are more information that I'm going to basically upload. And don't forget, whenever you click subscribe, there is always, all right, there is always a bell button there. Make sure you click the bell so that you will get all the latest updates automatically, all right? Automatically you will be notified of all those updates. Now, tonight is going to be a very interesting segment. I'm going to basically do an investigative hypothesis for education and entertainment purpose. Now, the objective of tonight, okay, the objective of this segment is basically to look into what triggers, all right, what triggers the plunge in Bitcoin price, all right. If we look into the market cap, all right, if we look into the cryptocurrencies market cap, so we're going to look at what actually triggers the blood in the street, what actually triggers the plunge in the Bitcoin price, okay, that posed the largest correction of most of the cryptos. So if you look into the coin market cap, and you can see most of these cryptos are on sale. Currently, it is close to about 50% sales right now. Please understand, this can be a good news for some of you. For some newbies who don't know about this market, you may already, all right, feeling so nervous by now what is really going on with the uncertainties that is taking place. And that is a reason why many newbies, especially if you are new, you are holding, all right, and you start to see the plunge, what will you do? You will start to sell, right? Because you want to take, and you are going to sell at loss. Don't ever sell, okay? Please hold it if you have just bought it, because we have seen these things happen, and I'm going to show to you historical corrections later on so that you can exactly see that this is normal for crypto market. Now, if you are smart, all right, if you are smart, if you are new, you have not bought cryptocurrency, now is the right time for you to come in and take your share, right? Now, I can say this could probably be the last chance, all right, for anyone actually to own their own Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies here. So take your chance, all right? Take your chance. Don't lose this opportunity. And also, if you have already bought, I know that we have institutions, we have private institutions who actually bought, the retails who have bought at a higher price. What are they doing now? The hedge funds and so on, they are basically averaging. What do I mean? They are buying the dip to average their losses. Can you see that? Now, this is a brilliant way as long as you have excess capital. Now, tonight, our focus will be Bitcoin. Why actually Bitcoin is plunging? What is the reason why? Now, we can see that the current price, okay, Bitcoin currently is basically consolidating at about 38 over thousands within this range. But if you look at about 3 months, okay, let me just show you a 3 months range over here. We have seen an all-time high of about 64,000, all right, somewhere in the month of April. And thereafter, we saw Bitcoin price correction at about 48,000. And thereafter, we saw a consolidation, and Bitcoin price actually went up to about 59,000 before we saw the recent plunge that took place, okay? That took place where Bitcoin came all the way down to about 30, all right, to about 35,000. Can you see that? About 35,000. Now, this is roughly about 40% correction that actually took place, all right? So what is basically happening? What triggers, what happens in the background? Okay, so we're going to look at some of these hypotheses for the purpose of education and entertainment, all right? Now, I'm also going to talk to you about the future of Bitcoin, Alright, uncover the future of Bitcoin. Now, some people are worried, will Bitcoin actually crash to zero? Can this really be possible? So we're going to look into all these aspects tonight so that you can have an informed decision, so that you can really understand. If you are part of this industry, you are part of this crypto space, you need to be really sure and understand. Okay, now risk is what? Risk is basically not knowing what you are getting involved. All right, that is the reason why it is important that you are educated, you have the right knowledge and understanding, so that you can eliminate those risks. Now, to set the backstage clear, okay, to set the whole context clear, and why this plunge is taking place, let me just first of all bring you, okay, into the background of this whole story, which is basically China's digital yuan. Now, many of us know that China has already, okay, building this whole technology, and they call it as a Chinese digital yuan. They basically want to pioneer this whole thing before US actually come up with their own CBDC, central bank digital currency. So China is actually spearheading this whole space. Alright, so this is the digital yuan. Please understand, when we talk about digital yuan, this is not a decentralized, okay? Bitcoin is a decentralized. Digital yuan is basically a centralized, okay? So although you hear it is a blockchain, but blockchain is either can be a decentralized blockchain or a centralized blockchain. So we have here digital yuan, which is a centralized blockchain. That simply means, okay, it is a permission blockchain whereby the government can still be in complete control of the citizen, of all the transaction that is taking place in the nations, and they can be in complete control of the accounts, of the statements, of everything that has to do with the financial net worth and information of the citizen. Can you see that? So that is what it meant by a permission, okay? A permission private blockchain. Alright, that's the reason why Bitcoin is powerful, because Bitcoin is a public blockchain. It is a public decentralized ledger. That is the reason why no government, no authority will actually accept Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a decentralized. So there is no control, okay? There is no control, there is no draconian law that can even control, okay, Bitcoin. That's the reason why Bitcoin will be the best choice for you to earn. Now, let's just quickly look into the background. What is really taking place? Now, it is said over here, right? It was supposed to be the biggest threat to the reserve status of the dollar. Now, China's denial that it has no desire to replace the USD with the digital yuan only confirms it. Now, since the failed experiment that is the whatever it takes euro, but instead it is turning out to be one giant yawn. Can you see that? Now, this is so important for you to understand the background. If you don't understand the context of the background, you never know why these attacks are coming in now. Now, please understand, alright, this FUD, this fear, uncertainties, and doubts that is created by China, it is not new. This has gone on since 2017, alright? I will go through this in detail, and don't worry, alright? I'm going to give you the link of all these articles so that you can then check through and do your own studies, okay? And find out so that you can dig deep, okay? Dig deep dive into this important information so that you can have the necessary knowledge and information about this industry. Now, according to Bloomberg, which interviewed users of China digital currency, they showed little interest in switching from mobile payment system run by the Ant Group and the Tencent that have already replaced cash in much of the country, with some openly bulking the digital yuan, which recall is programmable and comes with an ad hoc expiration date. Wow, can you see that? Can you see? This is the reason why I mentioned to you, this is a permission private blockchain. It is controlled. Can you see that? It is programmable. So that simply means the government can control every single activity. They can even decide to actually add the shelf life or expiry date to this wallet. Wow, can you see how the control is going to be? Wow, this is a fantastic hypothesis, right? I just want you to understand, okay, so that you are educated what is really taking place. So why the government around the world is now looking at their own digital currency? Why are they looking at a currency that is programmable, Now, this is the reason being, am I right? They want to be in full control because government and authorities around the world will never relinquish their control. Now, because of Bitcoin, right? Can you see? Because of Bitcoin, now many people today can actually enjoy freedom financially. And many people today can have financial inclusion. This will never happen if you are still in the fiat system. Can you see that? And because many people today, even those who are walking in the streets are now becoming richer and richer because of cryptocurrency, because of Bitcoin. Do you think that the government is going to allow this to happen? I don't think so. All right. So there's a big conspiration. There's a huge plan and strategies going on how they can take control of the currency in the world. All right. So now it is said that, can you see that? I'm not excited at all, said Patricia Chen, a 30-year-old who works in the telecom industry and was one of the more than 500,000 people in Shenzhen eligible to take part in the trial. So China has already, they have actually given an airdrop. It's like a free tokens so that the people in Shenzhen, can actually start to do a trial runs and so on. Now, as we go on further, all right, as we go on further, you can see that, all right, there is just one problem. Okay, can you see that? There's just one problem. Nobody can figure out why they need to use a digital currency which allows authority to snoop on their every activity when existing alternative offer everything the digital yuan can do. Wow. Can you just see? This is the truth. Can you see that? This is the truth. The people in China, the citizens in China know exactly what is going on. But this is the flaw. This is the flaw of the digital yuan because it is centralized. Any system that is centralized, you will have this kind of flaw. Because in a centralized system, there is no consensus. In Bitcoin is a decentralized and you have a 51% consensus taking place in order to confirm and verify all the transaction that is taking place. Now, in a centralized system, there is no consensus. This gives draconian power to the authorities to actually snoop and control and even monitor all the activity that is taking place. But what does that mean? An existing alternative offer everything. The digital. These are basically the chat apps and the Alipay that is already existed, that has already removed a lot of the cash transaction to cashless. Now, do you know or aware that few months back, right, the Alipay was actually going through some problem. All right, we have Alipay going through this problem, the chat apps going through this problem because of the whole agenda of the government in China, all right? Because of the government in China. So Jack Ma was in trouble, right? We have heard how those news have taken place, but these are all the agenda that is taking place behind digital yuan, all right? Now, let's just go on, okay? There's another reason why Beijing is rushing to roll out the digital currency. As we reported last month, the programmable digital yuan comes with an adjustable expiration date which could, at the flip of a switch, encourage spending during economic downturns or enable regulators to instantly turn off the e-wallet of anyone who wants a fall of Beijing. Wow, can you see? This is what centralized mean, my friend. If you are listening to me, you don't understand the war of the cryptocurrency. This is it. Alright? This is the war. This is not the war against China and US. It is the war against Bitcoin. Can you see that? This is the reason why the government wants to take control so that they can be in full draconian control of the whole aspect. It can be programmable, so they are basically in control. They can just at the flip of a switch, they can decide what they want to do. Can you see how vulnerable the people going to be if they're going to basically adopt this kind of centralized digital currency created by their own government? This is going to be a nightmare, am I right? Now, meanwhile, global adoption of let me just quickly look into that, okay? Now, over here, right? Meanwhile, as Bloomberg notes, it was concerned about privacy or lack therefore that were among the biggest turnoff for Jen Chen, a 33-year-old civil servant. it's a little scary that authorities might be able to trace every payment, she said. In a country where compliance with tax law is often patchy, some merchants may also be wary of their transactions flowing directly into a government database. Okay, so that's basically how a centralized database actually works. Now, China known as a draconian law. Alright, so what is going to happen next? Okay, what is going to happen next? Now, if or rather when the digital yuan fails to gain traction over the long term, China's government will turn to coercion, according to Capron. It has already started taking steps to assert more control over the data gathered by financial and tech companies including Ant and Tencent. Have you seen? This is what has happened few months back, right? And at the end of the day, I think it's going to have to be the government saying you have to use this. Capron said. Can you look at where this whole thing is going, alright? Now this is where we are seeing the wave, okay? The underground wave, actually the current that is taking place, that is creating a huge wave, okay, that is going against Bitcoin. So that is the reason why, okay, we are seeing, alright, whereby Chinese government, okay, begin to reiterate the fact they continue to begin to monitor the Bitcoin mining sectors and so on. There's the recent news that we have heard how they are scrutinizing, okay? They are actually scrutinizing, all right? They are scrutinizing both the mining and also the exchanges in China once again. But this is not new, all right? This is not new. This has been happening since 2017. Now on Friday, okay, a report stemming from China's 51st meeting of the Central Financial and Economic Affairs Commission led by the organization director Liu He discussed cryptocurrency mining in the country. Alright, now this is it. Can you see that? It is the first time that the highest level of the Chinese government has clearly proposed a blow to the mining industry. Now, although a great number of crypto enthusiasts disagree with Wu's assessment of the situation, reiterated fact law has been in place for years. One individual responded to Wu's tweet. The individual also pointed to older articles from 2017 that reiterated the same talking point as what was said in the recent meeting presided by Liu He. Can you see that? This is not a new news, okay? It's not something fresh. It has already been there since 2017. Now, this is the thing, alright? The crackdown. As for the cracking down on mining, it may be related to Musk's recent attacks on Bitcoin energy consumption. The Chinese government made a commitment to carbon neutrality to the world last year. Unfortunately, Bitcoin mining was the first to hit. Okay. Now this is a very important. Okay, the important claims by Musk, and I think it is an important claim to be looked into. All right. But what is it really? Okay. But please understand, before we go into the mining, let me just show you, okay, the Bitcoin mining itself from a reliable statistic so that you can understand what is really going on. Now, this new fad, okay, this new fad, okay, that is created by China, all right, this should not be taken lightly. If the authorities shut down the miners, then the Bitcoin pool, or basically the hash rate, will begin to spike. Now, when the hash rate spike, you're going to see, okay, for at least about a week to about a month, the difficulties will be adjusted and normalized. So we're going to see. So if Chinese government is going to go and basically scrutinize and actually ban all the mining, then we're going to basically see that the hash rate is going to increase. Alright, when the hash rate increases, then you're going to see the Bitcoin transaction fees will actually go up, because there will be lesser miners. But don't worry about it, okay? Within probably a week to about 4 weeks, okay? 1 week to about a month, we can already see that difficulties will be readjusted and will be normalized. But this also gives, okay, opportunity to the new small miners, okay? They will have the potential to open up anywhere else in the world, making Bitcoin network more decentralized than it has ever been in the last 11 years. All right. So these are basically some of the implications that can actually take place, okay, if the Bitcoin miners, okay, been affected in China. But how big? Okay, what are these implications we are looking at? How big do you think this implication is? Now, to understand the implication, we have to look into a reliable statistic. Let's look into Bitcoin mining map or Bitcoin mining power distribution around the world. Now, if we quickly go into the Cambridge, okay, the University of Cambridge, and you can basically, okay, look into the distribution of the mining in the world. So this is basically the Bitcoin mining map, all right? Now, one of the things that we really want to look at, if you look into the ranking, okay, into the ranking of the hash rate or the power of the mining power, China is leading by 65%, all right? 65% of the mining power, followed by the US, which is about 7.24%, and followed by Russia, 6.9%, and Kazakhstan, okay, which is about 6.17%. Okay, and then we have Malaysia, which is about 4.33%. Can you see that? Now, these are the rank, okay, the rank from the Cambridge site itself, okay, which shows us the electricity consumption and the Bitcoin power. Now, if we just zoom in into China, you can see these are all the areas, okay, where China actually have their mining plant or the mining farms, okay. Xinjiang is leading by 35%, followed by Sichuan 9.66, followed by内Mongol 8%, and so on. Okay, so these are basically all the areas where Bitcoin is basically being mined. Okay, so this is an interesting statistic that we need to look at. Alright, so this is going to be a huge implication if this mining, okay, I think the Bitcoin mining company in China understand the geopolitical situation, understand the unfavorable condition they are receiving from the authorities, and that's the reason why we have seen recently, Chinese mining company actually are moving away. They are basically planting their plant, and also basically they are partnering, okay, with other providers or with other companies, okay, around the world. So we have seen just recently, alright, Bitmining new Texas facility will be open, a new frontier for the firm at a time of rapid investment in North America mining. Okay, this is a 25 million, okay, facility. Now let's just quickly look into this. Now you can see over here, right? The firm that runs the BTC.com Bitcoin mining pool is seeking out mining real estate in Texas. Now, publicly traded Bitmining Limited have already signed a binding investment term sheet with Dory Creek, a subsidiary of ASIC manufacturer Bitdeer, to build a mining farm in Texas. Can you see that? So this is a big blow. Alright, this is a huge blow to China. Because of this unfavorable condition, Chinese company will start to move on, okay, to countries where it is more favorable. Now this is going to move away the tax income in China and so on. Now this already happened in 2017. Binance, okay, Binance, one of the biggest exchange in the world, have already moved out. In 2017, they actually moved out their businesses and they set up their businesses in Malta. Alright, so can you see how smart is Binance is? And there are many other exchanges are already starting to do so. Now, the other implication is that, please understand, okay, China actually holds 90% global market share for the mining rig itself. So if you look into the mining rig, okay, these are the mining rig. Alright, China actually, okay, one of the biggest mining machine makers, okay, they are basically leading 90%. Alright, 90%. Now, China has a near monopoly on the world's Bitcoin mining machines. Currently, the world top 3 producer of digital currency mining machines are Chinese. Bitmain, Canaan Creative, Ebon International account for more than 90% of the total global market share, and Chinese miners produce up to 70% of the total of the world's total industry insiders say. Now, can you see that? Now, please understand, most of these equipment are actually exported out, okay, to US, to different countries and so on. So Chinese manufacturer are not only providing the mining rig or the mining machine for the miners, but they are also providing to the whole world. So this is going to be another big blow for the Chinese, okay, for the Chinese mining company when the authorities goes after them. So what is going to happen is that we're going to probably hear a lot of these mining manufacturers will also move away, and they will start to begin to position themselves differently in different countries. but most probably there will be more export rather than providing it for the local. Can you see the big blow that is going to take place? Now, saying all these things, all right, we need to understand, okay, all this propaganda that is taking place is basically just another fad, another cycle, okay, of basically destroying the reputation of Bitcoin. Alright, so it is normal, okay, as you begin to create more and more fake news, as you create more and more news and attack on Bitcoin, this is what we are going to see, that people are going to feel insecure, okay, they're going to sell their Bitcoin. This is normal. Now we have seen, okay, most probably Bitcoin has already bottomed, and now we will start to see more and more hedge fund, more and more institutions will start to go and buy it. But please understand, Bitcoin has been declared dead, okay, 414 times already. So it is not a new thing, okay? You can see the data over here. Okay, Bitcoin has been declared dead since 2010. Okay, the highest time it was declared dead was in 2017, when Bitcoin price actually collapsed from all-time high close to 20,000 all the way to about 3,000. So every time Bitcoin collapses, okay, there is always a negativity, there is always somebody claiming that Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin is completely dead, and so on, okay? It is normal. So although Bitcoin has been declared dead, Bitcoin is still alive, okay, because Bitcoin cannot die. The more they attack Bitcoin, the more stronger, okay, Bitcoin will arise, alright? Now, let me just quickly show you before we conclude this whole presentation, alright? Let me just quickly show you the historical, okay? This is the historical crash, okay, the Bitcoin crash of 2021 compared to past sell-off, okay? These are basically the historical data you can find over here, okay? These are basically showing you exactly, okay? We can see one of the biggest, okay? One of the biggest happened somewhere in the year of 2013, okay? 2013 was the biggest. Can you see that? China banned Bitcoin and Bitcoin exchange. Mt. Gox suffer hack, regulatory troubles, and eventually bankruptcy. Okay, this is where we had the biggest drop, which is about 86.9%. So what you are seeing today, okay, which is year 2021, can you see that's basically about 51%. That is not comparable with what happened in year 2013. Can you see that? And in 2017, you can see at 2017, okay, between 2017 to 2018, we had another huge, okay, crash, 83%. All right, this is where the Japan largest, okay, OTC crypto exchange were actually were hacked. All right, and also at this time, okay, many people actually liquidated their Bitcoin. So Bitcoin price actually crashed from all-time high close to about 20,000 all the way down to about 3,000. It took at least about 2 to 3 years for the market to consolidate, to build the confidence, where Bitcoin price has come up all the way to 60 over thousand. And now we saw another attempt, okay, to reiterate the FUD, and this is creating FUD. And those who are new in the market, right, this is what normally happens. Those who are new, they feel uncertain, they feel fear, so they will then relinquish or sell their Bitcoin. All right, those of you who are holding your Bitcoin, keep holding on to your Bitcoin. These things will be passed, okay? This will pass very, very soon, and you will start Bitcoin price, okay, will start to begin to escalate once again, okay? And those of you who are in this, okay, in this market, okay, if you have not bought Bitcoin, I would encourage you to look into it, how you can own a portion of this Bitcoin. You don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of Bitcoin, 0.001 Bitcoin, or 0.1 Bitcoin. You can buy even $1,000 or $100. Just buy and keep. All right, this is important. So I hope, all right, I hope this whole hypothesis, okay, reporting has been a blessing, that you are basically get a more understanding, okay, more understanding of a bigger macro picture of what is really happening in the crypto market today. So with that, I would like to say thank you so much. Okay, please ensure that you subscribe to this channel for more of such updates, okay, and different things, okay, and different content that is going to be presented through this YouTube channel. With that, I would like to say thank you so much. Greetings to each and every one of you. God bless you all.